The Eagles roll into the bye week undefeated. District play awaits. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Brock Eagle Football Show, brought to you by Tommy Hayes Photography, DFW Executive Realty, and Lazy S Hacienda, right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. As the Eagles dispatch of the California foe, Chula Vista Eastlake, 49-7, in a game that was kind of a slog through the first half. As coach will say, you know, Eastlake had some talent and they played pretty solid, but Brock eventually was able to kind of grind them down using that run game, hitting over 250 yards on the ground. And now the Eagles are, of course, in the bye week. And then next week, it all starts. District play against a new opponent, because it's a new school, Eagle Mountain. Of course, we'll talk about that next week. This week, we'll talk to Coach Mathis about the win. We'll talk about bye week and just kind of where he feels the team is halfway through the point for the 2024 season. We want to thank our sponsors, Tommy Hayes Photography. You can find him online at Tommy_Hayes_photography. That's on Instagram. His website's TommyHayesPhotography.com for all the best action shots. I mean, all you got to do is go look at the Brock program. He shoots the Brock program. But go to his website and see all the other things Tommy does. He is an amazing photographer. I genuinely contend he is one of the best in the state when it comes to action shots. Also want to thank DFW Executive Realty, Eddie Washington. If you have any realty needs on the Fort Worth side of DFW, Eddie's the man. He'll take care of you. All you got to do is go to dfwexecutiverealty.com. You can do searches by neighborhoods. You can do searches by prices. You can do searches by what's the hottest neighborhood going. So check out dfwexecutiverealty.com or email Eddie at edwash1@msn.com. And then we want to thank our newest sponsor, Lazy S Hacienda. You can find them online at lazyshacienda.com. Now, this is a beautiful place. If you were there at the Brock football event right before the season started, then you know just how amazing this property is. It's gorgeous. There are so many different great photograph spots. Me and my wife, as we were walking around, we were just talking about, man, you know, this is the place if you want to have a party, if you want to have a wedding, so many beautiful spots. And especially as the temperature gets cooler, it's going to be the place to go for fall weddings. I can promise you that. And spring weddings as well. And the great thing about the place is it's not only gorgeous, it's not only the perfect place for weddings, for events, for corporate outings, for corporate lunches, for corporate retreats, for birthday parties. It's all eco-friendly. It is sustainable and it sustains itself. And there is, to me, nothing better than being able to go out and have a great time, have a great event, and know that you're also doing that and doing it at a place that is self-sustaining and is not hurting the environment. So again, check them out online, lazyshacienda.com. We'll be talking more about them in the future. We have some cool things we're going to be doing with them down the road. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the head coach of the Brock Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show. Do you have a kid that plays sports? Are you yourself a weekend warrior? Then I'm going to tell you something. Check out NeuroGuardPlus.com. That's NEURO guardplus.com. It's a mouthpiece that can not only help with concussions, but can dramatically affect the way you perform. And the mission of NeuroGuard is to, of course, reduce the risk of suffering a concussion when participating in any contact sport, military, anything that you're doing physical that you could take a blow to the head. You might want to put in a NeuroGuard mouth guard. And as I said, it not only helps eliminate concussions, it helps you perform better by simply aligning your jaw properly. And that sounds like such a simple thing, but it is so important because it allows oxygen to get to your brain. And when you get oxygen to the brain, you don't have that fog of sports or that fog of war where you get confused. And if you've ever played football, you know that's a sport where that can happen. Especially, man, you're in there in the trenches and you take a shot to the side and all of a sudden things are spinning. This mouth guard will help you keep focus by, again, simply keeping oxygen going to your brain 100%. Again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com. And if you play sports, if you have a kid that plays sport, if you do something physical, one of the things that Dr. Hutchinson, the creator of this, was talking about was some people will use it when they're doing yard work and when they're mowing and things like that, where they're being physically active because they know it helps align their jaw and it keeps oxygen going to the brain, which also helps your lungs, by the way, when you can have full breath every time as you're performing. So again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball.
Terry Bennett back here on the Brock Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the 5-0 Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis. Coach, you took on a California team last week. You wear them down 49-7. What were your thoughts on the game?
Man, I was very proud of the boys. You know, when you play a team like that, it's hard to really tell and gauge just how good they are. You know, you can see certain things on film, but you don't get a good feel. You know, you don't play any of their JVs or anything like that, and you don't know how good the teams are that they're playing. But we knew they'd be a solid team. And you know, at halftime it was only 21-0, and man, they did some exotic stuff on defense at times. You know, different types of blitz and stuff that we hadn't seen. So it was a good game. It was a very physical game. It was a good matchup. And, you know, second half, we just come out and leaned on them and just, you know, really wore them down a lot. And, you know, and I'm sure it's tough to be away from your home for, you know, 7 days and be in a hotel room. You know, they practice over at Farrington Field all week. You know, they're probably out, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. So, you know, it's probably hard to keep that focus up. So I was proud of our guys for keeping the level of focus that they have and, you know, not going in there and underestimating these guys. So it was pretty nerve-wracking going in, you know, to the game. And once we got it under control, you know, and we started going, man, I really felt like we really dominated them.
And, you know, you and I have talked multiple times about the balance of your offense. You want to take what the defense gives you, and they wanted to give you the ground game, and y'all took it happily. Well, almost 260 yards on the ground, I think. Just a great job by that offensive line.
Man, O-line is really they've been amazing this year. And, boy, you know, they play with a lot of passion, and we've got, you know, 6-7 guys that we roll through there right now, you know, to make sure that everybody's getting the reps they needed through the non-district to get them ready. So, you know, that's really been what's been for us that's been so exciting about it is, you know, we're rotating those guys through, and each guy that comes in is just as good as the next guy. So, you know, you never want injuries to happen, but, you know, we got guys that have taken a lot of great reps, and there's not a big drop-off between our starters and then our backups. So, you know, getting all that game time that they have and getting up there and getting in the trenches and fighting and doing all the different stuff that they do in there, been very proud of them.
You know, you're on the bye week this week. You're going into district starting next week, and it's such a different feeling than it had been the last couple of years. This year, you're going in 5-0. To be fair, you haven't been completely challenged for four full quarters yet. Where do you see your team at right now? Are you getting to the point where you feel like you are about to start peaking? Are you still climbing that mountain? Where do you see y'all?
I really think we're still climbing. You know, with this group, the non-district was not as challenging, you know, playing, you know, the groups that we've played the last couple of years. It was still challenging, just not as tough a schedule.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what's really made me so excited is we have gone out there and we've done a great job of, you know, winning the way we should win, right? We didn't go out there and, you know, underestimate anybody and let somebody come close to keeping up with us. You know, going out there and playing a team, you know, like Aubrey and those guys, and going out there and, you know, really dominating the game and doing everything we did. So I think we got a high ceiling right now, and some of the stuff that we hadn't even put on yet, I feel like we're ahead of the schedule of where I thought we would be, but I still think we've got a long ways to go. So, you know, going into district where we're at right now, I'm really happy with it. And, you know, we've got a tough district schedule coming up. You know, the New Eagle Mountain School, I've watched, you know, video on those guys, and they've gotten better and better each and every week. And Coach Mullins does a great job with them. Of course, Mineral Wells is rolling right now. And, you know, and Graham's, they're the big dogs, right? We don't play them till the second to last week. And Burke and Bridgeport are doing a good job. So, you know, where we're at right now, I'm excited, but I definitely think that we definitely haven't peaked, and we still got a long ways to go, which excites you as a coach.
What is the one thing that you feel that you need to work on to not only for district and the Grams, but for the playoffs and 2 and 3 rounds? What do you feel like y'all need to clean up the most?
You know, we just need, there's a lot of things that we need to clean up, you know, little stuff, you know, like being on the defensive side of the ball and doing a better job of finishing tackles, doing a better job of, teams get over there and they hard count us and we're still jumping off sides. It's those little things that just drive you crazy as a coach, because you can only yell, watch the ball so many times and still jump off sides. Those type of things. Still getting better at, coverage wise of disguising our coverages, not showing them, exactly what we're in, pre-snap, making it tough on there, and offensively, we still got to do a good job of getting our pass game going the way we need to get it going. We've had games where we've gone out there and thrown for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. And then games where we kind of, I don't want to say we take a step back. It just hadn't been as clean, but that's just the way high school football goes sometimes. But there's always something we can work on, and we're going to keep working on it. And that's really what's been good about this bye week, the way you take a bye week. Bye weeks are tough because you want to come in, quote unquote, heal up, right? We got some energies and stuff. So, but you don't want to not go out there and work too. I think these last 2 days, probably been 2 of the toughest days that we've had. And, coming out and conditioning, going out and running, making plays, going out and saying, hey, we're going to go perfect plays. If play's not perfect, we're going to run extra gassers for it. So the mindset of going into district is every play's got to matter. Everything from the weight room, everything. We have that mindset, but you get going into a season sometimes, and all of a sudden and it's my fault as a coach, you kind of slack off a little bit. I go into the locker room, lockers a little bit dirtier than they should be, so those are the things that you got to go in there and clean up and tighten up, because when you're living right and you're doing those things right, all those little things from keeping your locker nice, going out and busting your butt at practice every day, those are what carry you on to district championships. Those are the things that go on to big wins, because everything matters. If the little things don't matter, then it adds up to big things. When those little things matter all the time, you're working on every little step, whether I'm supposed to take a 6-inch step with my left foot, or if I'm supposed to shoot my hands, or my route running. Going and living that way, getting your mind in that mode of every little thing counts. That's what we've got to do a better job of, as a coaching staff, to make sure that our guys are doing it going into district.
Now, with this bye week, it's a little different for your district and the district that you'll play in the first round. All of y'all have byes on the same week. So what are you going to be doing this Friday night?
I've always thought about it a lot, I thought, man, maybe we'll go drive and go see a football game somewhere. But, with so much stuff that's streamed, I think I'm going to go get on the back porch, turn the streaming system on, and find, get my list of games and go see who I want to, see who we can see, and hopefully the streams all work good. That's the only bad thing when you plan on watching a game and then the streaming system's terrible. I mean, it'll ruin a night for you. So don't get many Fridays during football season. It's a weird feeling, to not have a plan of being going and scouting somebody. I love going and scouting because you get to sit up there in the stands. You get to, yell at the coaches, run a better play than that. Or
what's the touchdown play?
Yeah, you get to do all the stuff that people do to us. We sit up there and, relax and watch. And so that's what I'm going to do. Me and Ashley, and I'm sure the boys are going out doing their deal somewhere with their friends. So we'll sit on the back porch and watch a crap ton of football.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie, and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. As always, we want to thank Coach Mattis for joining us. You have any questions, thoughts, or comments for him, all you got to do is email the show, Terry at S2Ssport.com. We're also looking for a couple more sponsors as we get closer to the playoffs. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, sorry about that, I kicked over my mic stand. If you're interested in being a sponsor, just email me, Terry at S2Ssport.com, or you can text me, 469-605-3658. When we come back next week, we're going to be talking district. And this is going to be a fun district this year. You know, Brock has been the bell cow of their district in 3A Division I for, well, basically since the creation of Brock football. And the one thing, and I was just talking with L4 media boss Tish about, you know, if y'all don't know, my bosses are from Brock. And so we were just talking about, you know, I feel that Brock finally, with Graham, and if they can stay together through some multiple realignments, I feel like we might finally have a true formidable rivalry for the Brock Eagles. And that's the one thing that's been missing since the creation of Brock Eagle football. You've had cycles where you've had, you know, Paradise for a couple years, Whitesboro for a couple years, Pilot Point for a couple years, Breckenridge technically, but that was just because Breckenridge pulled off an upset and was kind of a thorn in the side, but none of those were sustained. Brock would end up dominating over the 4 and 5 and 6 year period. Now I think we have a chance to see a true district rival, possibly with Graham, possibly with Eagle Mountain. No, I don't think Eagle Mountain's going to stay long enough. Man, they're going to be really good next year. Don't count them out this year for making the playoffs, but they're going to be really good next year. But I think they're going to hit 5A as soon as that next realignment cycle. And then Mineral Wells, and of course, former offensive coordinator of Brock, Coach Cody Worrell, now there, and he's doing a great job there for the Rams. And so it's going to be kind of fun to see how Brock responds, being in a district where some teams, you know, I'm not saying they're going to beat Brock, but they're going to give Brock more of a competitive battle, I think, than Brock has been getting in district consistently. Again, there's been the teams that step up for the one moment or for 2 years, but consistently over a stretch of time. Again, that all depends on if Brock stays in the same district or with a few teams. That's always a big issue too, when you're kind of being yo-yoed between districts or yo-yoed, especially when you get yo-yoed between regions like some of these schools can. All right. So again, when we come back next week, we're going to be talking district play, and we're going to do all that right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.